Okay, good evening. It's Tuesday night, and I know Valentine's is over, but I wanted to share this dessert with you that was so good, and it's also Heart Health Month. So I'm talking to this month about heart disease, coronary artery disease. Hey, Patsy. Um, yeah, hey, Ann. Let's see who else. I see Hope's texting me up there, but maybe she'll jump on. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Dolores. Okay, so I bought the sweater just for this purpose, and I forgot to wear it last week when I did my Facebook Live for Valentine. So here it is today, and this is the strawberry dessert that I'm making for small group tomorrow night. So if you're in my small group, you're going to get this. So here's what we started off with. And by the way, I'm Dr. Nancy Stanley, physical therapist and health coach, and I'm on a mission to help 1,000 people get healthy. And I had a guy join my challenge today from Florida, so you don't have to be local to get in the challenge, and he is going to rock it, and the reason is because he is ready. So here we go. So I start with a crust, and this crust is almond flour, and buy a good quality of almond flour, and half a cup of butter, melted butter. Put it in there, swish it around, add a little bit, like a fourth of a cup of this swerve in there to sweeten it, and then I just pressed it down into this pan and put it in the fridge, because that butter, once it hardens, is going to hold it together. Now, the other thing I have, and I kind of did this ahead of time so you didn't have to listen to the mixer, is in here I have, if you want to write this down now, probably not going to mail out this recipe because I just made it up in my head. You know, a lot of times I do that because sometimes I live out in the country, I may not have an ingredient. So I just kind of have to make do. And I think I looked at a recipe and it called for, I don't even remember what it called for, but I didn't have it. So I'm like, I'm just going to make this up as I go. Hey, Cassie, yeah, let's see who else is here. Yeah, okay. So I put in here a half a stick of cream cheese, half of a slab or wedge or whatever you're going to call it. And I put a little shake of real salt. One of my clients said, that's got dirt in it. I'm like, exactly, it's minerals and we need it. So you're going to see that. Okay, so about this much of this powdered sugar, this swerve, I'm going to put over in there. And then I put about that same amount, about 1/8 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. So I'm just going to mix that up, and I'm going to add a little bit of butter, just a little, to make it a little creamier. And that's going to be my second layer. Oh, the other thing I forgot. Let me turn this thing off and swipe it down a little bit. So the other thing I forgot to tell you about, and this is one of my most prized possessions in my kitchen, this is vanilla. My sweet niece Emily Malloy gives this to me every year, and it's vanilla beans in vodka, and you see it says, Nancy, shake every day. So you just turn it up and shake it every day, and after a while, I mean, this is the real deal, y'all. I'm telling you, you need to get you some of that, make you some, whatever you have to do. Okay, so I'm gonna whip. All right, so here's what else I'm gonna do to this. I'm gonna add a few strawberries, okay? And then I'm gonna save some to go over the top. So I'm gonna beat those up a little bit. I don't want them to be mushy. I don't know about you, but I kind of like the strawberry chunks. I don't want it to be pureed. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So when I bite into it, I want to get a little bite of strawberry, you know? Okay, I think that's enough. I think I did the other night a little more. So here I go. I'm going to beat that off so I get every little bit. I think I'll just sit that back there. And I forgot to show you something that I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay, so here we go. All right. So remember, I added a little whipping cream just to make it a little bit softer. And I'm just going to spoon this over here. Yep. And put that out of the way. I'm just going to press it out. And you know, it's got a little pink. The strawberries gave it a little bit of a pink flavor. Oh yeah, that's good. I didn't let this crust get cool enough, chilled enough, so it's kind of lifting up. But you get the idea. All right, so there you go. All right, and then what I have over here is about a cup of heavy whipping cream that I did in my mixer with 1/4 of a cup of that confectioner sugar. Beat it up, added a sprinkle of salt and a little vanilla, and I'm gonna spoon this over the top, just like that. Oh my gosh, this is so good. And so healthy, all these good fats. You know, I do use organic, grass-fed whipping cream, okay? I spend the extra, sometimes it's about $1.50 extra, but you know, I want it to be from grass-fed or at least organic milk. All right, so there we go. I'm putting that over there. So let me get some things out of the way here. All right, and then I'm just gonna take and spoon these strawberries over the top just to make it pretty. Let me just kind of do it like that. Just little bits of strawberries. I had about 8 strawberries left from the other night, and so I didn't have a bunch of strawberries, but I had just enough. Okay. All right, what you have is just enough sometimes, right? Okay. Actually, what we have is enough, right? Okay. All right, so here we go. Now, I've got one more little thing I'm going to show you. Let me turn on the microwave. So what I've got up there in the microwave is some chocolate morsels, about 1/4 of a cup, maybe a little more than that. I've done them for like 1.5 minutes so that they're melting. Okay. So as you can see, there they are. I've got my spoon, and I'm just gonna, you see how I'm just stirring them around, getting them all. They were those tiny morsels. It's organic chocolate. It does have some organic cane sugar, but not very much. So here I go. I've got my little Ziploc bag, and what I'm gonna do is spoon that down into the corner of the bag, all right? So what I'm about to show you is how to drizzle this chocolate over these strawberries. If it works like it did the other day, it was beautiful. I just squizzled it. How you like that word? I just squizzled it over it. Okay, so I'm gonna take this, squeeze it down into the end. I'm gonna take my little scissors and snip off the very end. Want that to go in the trash can. And then I'm just gonna see, I don't have as much chocolate as I had the other day. There we go, look at that. It's just, now sometimes you'll get a little stubborn place. Look at it. Oh, I know, that's a whole little morsel that didn't melt. All right, so here we go again. Okay, there we go. Want to get all of that goodness. You don't want to leave any of it. Okay, what do you think about that, ladies? Can I have some loves? Yeah, let me see some love. So that took me, oh my gosh, 15, 20 minutes. And we are going to enjoy that tomorrow night at my small group. Okay. All right, I know I'm doing this a little bit backwards, but I wanted to show you what I had for dinner. Yeah, that stuff is really good. And it's not real sweet. Yeah, and you could even use semi-sweet chocolate. Those were sweeter chocolate morsels, but you know. Okay, so here's what I had for supper. This was some meatloaf. You saw me make that last night. You see the portion size, very small. This is the cauliflower casserole, and this is kale. I went out to lunch today with some of my dear, dear friends, and so I ate some soup and a salad. And so, but I was hungry, so when I fed my husband, this is what I ate. So I just want you to know that if you put it on a small plate and you talk and conversate and enjoy the people you're with, then you can get by with less food. You really don't need that much food. Okay, so I'm gonna move some of this stuff out of the way. Well, here's what I wanna do. I just have to do this just to, all right, so I'm gonna spoon this out onto my mother's beautiful china. You see that? My brother came this weekend and he asked me if he could have a cup and saucer. I'm like, of course you can. Of course you can. So there you go. Look how pretty that looks. And if you had a strawberry with a green thing, with a green leaf on it, you could put it on the top and it'd be really, really pretty. But, you know, I'm just going to tell you. That's good. That is really good. Okay, not too sweet. That's what I like about it. It's not so sweet. So try that little trick with the chocolate morsels. Just put them in the bowl. I heated them about 45 seconds, then they weren't quite ready. I kind of mashed them around a little bit, and then I heated them again. And the second time, they kind of, just make sure they're smooth, because if you have one like I did, I had one that didn't melt. It wouldn't go through the hole. So I pushed it through, but you know, it might have been a little disaster, but it actually turned out okay. All right, so here's what I want to talk to you about. I think I got this far enough over. Yeah, all right. So let me flip back. All right, this month is Heart Health Month, and it's, you know, heart attack is the #1 killer in America, and half of those heart attacks happen with no previous symptom. The person did not even know they had an issue. And I'm reading a book right now. It's like why the breakdown of American healthcare, of the United States healthcare. And you know, what they talked about was, you know, there's when a disease starts and when a disease ends. And a heart attack is going to end with a death, or a heart disease is going to end with a death. But what you want it to end with is a cure. Okay? So that's what I'm on a mission to do, is to help people see the cure, not more treatment, not more medicine, not more disease, but the cure. I've spent 42 years helping people get over the heart attack and the stroke and the knee replacement and the shoulder, having all those things fixed. I want to spend the next 42, not sure if I'll live that long, but the next 20 at least, helping people to not have those things, okay? And I want you to help me. I want you to be one of those 1,000, and I want you to help me recruit more people that want to get healthy, okay? So let's talk about why, the 4 reasons why your blood sugar would be elevated in the morning. Now, if you're not diabetic, you don't check your blood sugar, you might think, well, I'm not interested in that. But if you've got that ring around the middle, I'm just going to tell you, you're already here. You're already insulin resistant. Your body is already struggling with processing the insulin that it has, the extra sugar, and it's turned into fat. Excuse me, I got an itchy nose. Okay. So that elevated blood sugar in the morning is called the dawn phenomenon. It happens in the morning. So what happens is from 12 to 3 a.m. there's an increase in insulin sensitivity. That's in the middle of the night. But early in the a.m. there's your blood sugars are actually better from 12 to 3. But about 6 to 8, there's a change. And this is due to cortisol, okay? Cortisol is a hormone. And what that does is it causes, cortisol, what it does is it mobilizes glucose, which is your sugar. And it mobilizes it for action. It mobilizes the sugar to get into the cells. But if you're insulin resistant, it can't happen, okay? So what happens is you peak out about 6 to 8 a.m., the cortisol does, and you have an influx of sugar, okay? All right, let's see. I'm seeing who all's here that may not have been here before. Hey, Doris. Hey, Shane. Hey, I can't read it. Okay. All right, so the second thing that happens is if you're type 1 diabetic, then your growth hormone, there's probably some issues with your liver, and so the liver becomes really has issues with producing the cortisol, the glucose, and so there'll be a struggle there. And then the third thing is if you're type 2 diabetic, then you're actually going to be producing from the insulin you had, or either a lower level of insulin, or actually you ate carbs the night before. You're going to have gluconeogenesis, where you're actually producing more glucose than you actually need, and it's going to show up. Or the fourth thing that causes it is if you ate carbs the night before. And how do I know that? Well, here's a story I'm going to tell you. So one of my clients, she was doing really well on the keto, and she's like, I was doing great. I wasn't having any sugar, you know, I was keeping, and my blood sugar, she was actually on metformin. She said my blood sugar, when I would check it in the morning, it was 80 and 90, and it had been 130, 140, 110. And she said, I was really proud of myself. And she said, then lo and behold, after a couple of weeks of it being 80 and 90, she said, I checked it and it was 130. And I said, well, what did you do different? I think it was 120. I said, what did you do different? She said, nothing. She said, I've been doing the same thing. I said, are you sure? And she said, yeah, I'm sure. She said, well, the only thing I did different is I was making a dessert the night before, and I ate a piece of fruit, just a small piece of fruit. And I said, that was it. You kicked yourself out of ketosis. Even a slice of apple will kick you out of ketosis for 48 to 72 hours. So just know, you know that's what you tell yourself, that little bit won't hurt? Well, just know that little bit won't hurt. So the solution for this elevated blood sugar, and whether you're type 1 or type 2 diabetic, is the keto diet and intermittent fasting. So I'm going to tell you what to do. So here's what you do. First of all, just know that with time of intermittent fasting and ketosis, you will bring your sugar down. With time, it takes time. You didn't get there overnight, so it's not going to happen immediately. The second thing is exercise it off. When you get up in the morning, just go for a walk. Yeah, just go ahead and exercise off that sugar before you take insulin or take some medication. Just see if you can't get it down, all right? The other thing is to avoid carbs the night before, especially in that 2-hour window before you go to bed, because if you don't eat before you go to bed in the 2-hour window, your body will actually burn fat. But if you eat anything, then you're going to kick out your growth hormone and your body's going to store fat. And then the last thing was a tip I learned from Dr. Berg, was to eat have a little bit of apple cider vinegar at night before you go to bed. Just a little bit, maybe a tablespoon in some water, okay? So that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. I hope you'll try that dessert, and I hope that you'll help me spread the word. Share this video. Share this video tonight. There may be someone you know. So I signed up a type 1 diabetic yesterday, and she said to me, I was afraid that I couldn't do it because of the fasting. And here's what I would say. I actually sent her a video today of, I think I sent it to her, maybe I sent it to somebody else, but anyway, of Dr. Boz, who does a lot of interviews and actually helps people that are type 1 diabetic lose weight, because honestly, if you're type 1, you've probably taken a lot of insulin. Insulin's a fat storing hormone, especially certain insulins. So I told her, I said, we'll do it together. We'll get you where you can lose the weight so that you can be healthier. You can lower your heart risk. You can lower your stroke risk. You can lower all that by being a healthy person, okay? But it's what you're eating. All right, so does it make sense to you that if you don't put sugar in, if you don't put carbs in, then you don't have to get them out? If you put carbs in, it's got to go somewhere, and it goes into your tissue. It's stored as fat. It's stored as plaque in your arteries. So stay tuned this week. I'm going to do a couple more videos. I'm actually traveling for the weekend and taking a certification in Denver. I'm actually going to go dog sledding. It's going to be so much fun. But I want to educate you. The guy that signed up today, he said, I just need to be educated. I'm like, you're right. What you don't know is what is hurting you. So I hope you'll join me. I'm Dr. Nancy Stanley. Go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Nancy Stanley, and subscribe. And hit the bell, because that'll let you know when a new video is uploaded. I don't do my videos in YouTube, although I'm probably going to be considering doing that. But I want you to hear them. So I hope you'll do well. And I hope this year, 2020, will be your year to get healthy. I want you to be one of my 1,000 people. I'd love to sign you up tomorrow, okay? Because I'm going to get my sleep tonight. Sleep's the #1 hack. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.